Hello and welcome to Coffee and Bonsai with Tom. Today we're going to continue with the second tree in my series of videos of pre-bonsai to bonsai with some variegated material that I've been working on for a while. See the first video in this series for a lot of background around this set of trees, where they came from, why I'm doing this, all that. I'll put a link in the video description for all that background for this collection of these variegated PAs. And you can find all the interesting details there. But basically, I have six trees that are going through, structural pruning. I'm kind of getting them on their way. I've just been getting them back to health before now, and I'm now taking these trees to the next step. So I think you can see this tree has a little more options than the first tree we had in the series. It's got a lot of leaves, and I'm just going to start by just cleaning things up. Try to take it back to the first one or two sets of leaves, depending on where I want it to grow, and removing, stuff that's growing towards the inside. Although that doesn't, there's definitely some of that on here, but it's not too bad. And I think, as far as the naming, I'm going to call this tree Prancer. Now I promised the first tree was named Dancer. This is Prancer. I'm not going with a reindeer theme here. I just think, like, if you look at how those, it's sort of a triple trunk on the bottom, for the lack of a better description, and it kind of, I see some prancing going on there. So it'll be a good mnemonic for someone whose memory increasingly seems to fail them. So that's the reason for the naming. And yeah, this tree, it had a lot of upward growth there. I just want to tighten things up. I've just been letting it, get really healthy, much like the other tree. And this is the first time I've really done any significant pruning on it at all, other than, some heavy duty shortening of large branches initially, just to make the tree manageable. But you can see already it has a decent shape. It has a nice triangular shape. Kind of looks like a tree. And I just want to take it to the next step. There's some, branches. Probably going to do some simplification here. Um, but as this first step, I'm just going around and just kind of tightening it all up. And, in that branch there going straight up, may as well remove that to get a nice, want everything to come up and out and just flow. And I've got this here in the sort of a crotch area, and I wouldn't really want that branch growing above this other kind of straight line main branch, sort of on the left of the tree if you see it from the front. And it's got some chunky stuff like this that I'm just gonna kind of carve out a little bit. I've had pretty good success with, chopping a short branch in half like that and having it recover and grow out. And, after half a season, you can't even tell I did that. I'm not super happy with this branch on the left, but I mean, it definitely has some possibilities. I have some good branches coming out, so I'm not going to do anything radical. I'll just do some pruning to encourage it to, you know, kind of do some back budding and be more compact. But I think I'll just have to wait for the future on that one and see what develops. You can see this tree has a pretty nice nabari. That's the thing that really impressed me with all these trees that or at least most of them in this produce packet in this large box is, they're pretty old. I don't know how old they are, but they've got some nice flare at the bottom and some really nice trunk development. So it really is kind of, golden material to work on here, and I'm super happy that I was able to get it. And I'm just taking a look here. I've often thought about taking this main branch off. That main trunk is really kind of tall and straight. And then I've also got this one that, if this is the front, there's this other kind of parallel trunk that doesn't add anything right here. It's not very interesting. So I've often thought about removing that. Um, that's a bit easier decision. I think the main trunk is a gutsier move, but Yeah, so I'm going to take this one off because it just doesn't add anything, and I think, yeah, that's much cleaner already. Yeah, I think that actually, kind of improves it a bit, and I'm looking at some of these long branches, with no movement and no taper. Um, Let me just clean up some of the stuff on the inside. You just definitely don't want stuff growing on the inside of your branches, or inside of your trunk. But you see these, it's kind of long here. I think I'm just going to shorten it up. And yeah, I think that's a lot better. And we'll get some more movement and branching there. Um, I mean, I'm tempted to go back even further, but let's just see what happens. So, I want this to be more compact and have some delicate branching and intricacy, uh, much closer into the trunk. And I think um, that cut there will help a lot. And I'm kind of gaming it a little bit, like with this structure on the right, because I keep thinking about how, I think that tree on the left, the main branch, would be a nice tree on its own. And it sort of works with this. So I haven't completely decided, but I think the two on the right that's just way more interesting. And I think it helps me to get smaller. But it's a nice looking tree. Like I can't complain. It's if it had a little more movement in that bottom section, uh, I'd be a little happier. Just because the stuff on the right has movement. Um, but I'm gonna hold off on that. So I don't think I can quite stomach cutting that. And I wanted to mention too. I like this blue pot. This is just an inexpensive production Chinese pot, but I really like the blue and yeah, I think it just works nicely with this tree. It's a good size. And I'm just looking around, having a final look here, and still looking at that that straight trunk. Yeah, but as I look at this, I think we've done some significant improvement to this. It looks like a maintained tree. I can sort of see the shape. And, as I've mentioned many times in this channel, patience and bonsai go hand in hand. And so, I'm happy to wait on this straight section here. And, we'll let this thing grow out and we will see, see where it takes us here in this next set of growth. Let's kind of zoom in a little bit here for our victory lap. Give you a nice look at this. I mean, it just has a nice trunk. I just love the foliage on these variegated, just beautiful, fresh pink foliage. It's got a nice base there. And, the bark has some really awesome character in this tree. So I think this tree has a super, super bright future, whether we keep that main trunk or not. And that's pretty much a wrap for today. And I want to thank you for spending time with me. And I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon.